Welcome back to the Manor, Entropians. Julian McBain here, and today I am going to take you through some of the early missions here on Next Island. So, when I first showed up, I did some of the, or I looked into a couple of the missions. I picked them up, but I never actually did them. And so, the first mission I'm going to do is Welcome to Crystal Bay, and we have to get information from Arthur about where you are, why you're here, and what you should be doing. Be sure to visit him if you need more help or have additional questions about Next Island, and you get that quest from this area. In fact, I think it's from... well, that's a player. That's a player. I think it's inside, or it's down the line here. It's nearby, and I'm sorry I can't remember off the top of my head. I should probably have started with this rather than, you know, waiting until I've been here for 3 weeks. But that's okay. So we're gonna hop over there because it's a damned long walk. I do have to say it's a really cool landing area. Oh, I didn't even notice the floating landing pads. But as you can see, there is a way across. You go down a really long corridor, and then you can walk across this gigantic nope bridge. In fact, I think that dock is the area that we're going to be heading. Well, probably this right here. See, that, my friends, is a nope bridge. A nope bridge is a bridge that is a suspension bridge and way the hell too high off the ground. I say this is an actual pilot. If I'm going to be that high off the ground, I want wings, damn it. Kara. No, I'm assuming that's a Lara. I'm curious to find out what each of these is actually for. Huh. Screechers, basically giant dodo birds. These are larger than the pets. Pet center. Buff or extract. And I don't know what extracting essence from a pet does. I don't know if it destroys the pet or what. That's something I'm going to have to... If you work with pets, can you leave a comment below as to what that does? Because I don't know. It looks like we've got another treehouse-like path upward, which we're probably going to have to climb. Because these are all terminals. Yup. We could take the televator. Yeah, we're going to take the televator in the interest of time. Up we go. Add terminal. Oh, I've been here before. This is the Crystal Peak teleporter. Oh, it was covered by the target dot. Okay, so I have to see Arthur. So now we have to locate this bloke. I love how they have the bar. No one's bartending. It's supposed to be right here. Oh, no, interactive. Oh, these are all the hunting challenges. Well, I wish I had been smart enough to grab some of these earlier. Like, you know, the boar ones. That's okay. Interesting name. 2922 Fyodor. Greetings, second waiver. I conclude that you must be a new arrival as I do not have your face or fingerprints stored in my memory banks. It's an android. I am Fyodor. I am also called the Robot Historian. You may call me by this nickname if you'd like to emulate the relationship of familiarity. What? Hi Fyodor, I'm Kenichi. I have been told to state that I am pleased to meet you, but I must inform you that I am not yet advanced enough to have a program to simulate feelings. I experience neither pain nor pleasure at your company, but perhaps this is beside the point. How may I be of service to you? I assume you were sent to me by Arthur. His human brain does not have the capacity to store information the way I can. How may I be of service? Okay, so I'm supposed to see Arthur first, and oh, there's Arthur. Good lord. They need question marks, man. Hello there, can you hear me? Oh, sorry to yell so loudly. Sometimes Newlanders are a bit deaf after entering the atmosphere. Don't worry, though, the effects wear off after a while. My name is Arthur, and it's my job to greet Newlanders and help them settle into our island ways. Welcome to Crystal Peak. Wow, he seems so nice, sir. I better not make any sudden movements. This guy seems like a total weirdo. We'll be nice. I'm so glad you second waivers are now arriving safely. You see, the AUTT didn't work as intended when the first waivers arrived on Next Island. It started out well from the platform back on Earth, but when we got here, some supplies and people had gone missing. It's been many years now, and although we've made what progress we could building a settlement, some of the first wave is still missing. After being cut off from communication with Earth, many of the first wave have moved on to build their own colonies. With the arrival of you second waivers, thanks to the technologies of Calypso, we should be able to track down the missing Elysians and work together to see the Elysium project come to fruition. Elysium project. Ah, forgive me. In my excitement seeing a new face around here, I seem to have gotten ahead of myself. I'm afraid I've been a bit muddled ever since the incident started to occur. Some islanders believe them to be sabotage, but I can't imagine anyone in our party could be responsible, or could they? I'm just not sure. Perhaps it would be best if you went and talked with Fyodor. He should be able to give you a much better picture of what has happened since the first wave arrived. Wait, I've got some questions. What's the Elysium project? The Elysium project was founded by David Spencer and the Elysium Alliance with the goal of creating a society absent of war, big corporations, and big government. It'll be a society where ideas and innovation will shape the future. The project began back on Earth, but it has been moved here to Next Island after being threatened by some governmental powers that were jealous of our initial success. I'd recommend talking to Fyodor if you'd like to hear about the Elysium project. I'll go find Fyodor. Okay, tell me about the Elysium project. The Elysium project was founded in 1971 by the 24-year-old entrepreneur David Spencer. This might be an actual thing. I might have to look this up. Spencer grew up during the Cold War and was disturbed by the atmosphere of suspicion and control that permeated all aspects of culture. He dreamed of a world without big business and large governmental powers. It would be a world where individuals could peaceably coexist and shape the future with their innovations. He presented this idea at the Sandsworth conference and was initially met with ridicule for his young age and idealism. However, he was afterwards approached by a group of scientists and entrepreneurs who had seen the potential in this idea. So what happened to them? They formed a group called the Elysium Alliance with that assistance of some wealthy backers. They were able to purchase some Polynesian islands under the pretext of building a resort for the wealthy. For a period of 2 years, they developed the islands and began recruiting other like-minded individuals to join them. In 1974, they moved to the islands and began to develop their society, which they called Elysium. For the next 12 years, Elysium prospered and grew. New technologies were invented, but they were kept a closely guarded secret by the Elysians, who worried that they might fall into the wrong hands. One of these technologies was an anti-aging serum, which David Spencer himself volunteered to be a test subject for. The serum was quite effective, and David didn't physically age a day beyond 29. It's an aging stasis. Okay. I wrote about an aging stasis in my book. Another of these technologies was the OT that harnessed the power of temporal portals for interstellar travel. It was speculated that it could be used for interdimensional travel as well. If Elysium was so great, then why aren't we there? First, there is a lack of direction. We do not know where all the first waivers want to take development of the Loyalist colony because they are not here. Second, our resources are limited, though the residents of the Enchanted Forest have been helpful. Woodland Haruspecs. I believe that's what they call themselves. It's residents, not residents. They definitely hold the same values as the Elysium Alliance. I know I'm being kind of picky about the grammar, but copy editors, guys. Third, the defectors to the west that cause problems. They steal the limited supplies we have, so we are lacking maintenance, which is hampering our ability to function. Poor Samuel, for instance, is practically deranged because of the circuits taken from him while he was recharging. Samuel, who is that? 0574 Samuel is one of us robots. He used to be an expert in time travel and dimensional displacement, but we suspect it was the Risa or the Stell that stole some of his circuits. 1314 Mary is another robot. Her task is that of ethical oversight in order to prevent the abuse of the scientific progresses that eventually be done here. I'm 2922 Fyodor, and my task is that of a librarian and chronicler. There isn't just robots here, right? There are 2 humans here as well. I take it that you have already met Arthur. He is the first wave. Of the first wave, but he has been shaken by the troubles of the varied factions of the first wavers. We try to make his life here as comfortable as we can, but he too lacks direction. Oh, you know what? I ran into one of those other factions here. Little outpost. Kind of hostile. Then there is Io. At first we didn't understand her. We could only communicate using a little classical Greek. But she is bright and quickly learned English. We are certain she is not from Elysium, but we have tried to take care of her as well. Could you please do me a favor and look at Samuel? Take a look at Samuel. He really needs to be fixed, and neither Arthur or Io have the necessary expertise. I will, but please go ahead first. Word of the technologies of the Elysians were developing made it to the outside world. The existing world powers, including Russia, the United States, and China, were afraid that Elysium would prove a threat. They joined forces to bring an end to Elysium, and that's when the troubles began. Tell me about the troublemakers. I have been programmed to proceed with caution when asked about this. Allow me to scan the area for eavesdroppers before I proceed. Scanning all right. There is no one close enough to hear us. Back on Earth, there is a secret society of mercenaries known as the Demerara. No one knows who their leader is, nor where they came from. All that is known is that they were hired to sabotage Elysium and steal our technology. They are suspected to have infiltrated the Elysium Alliance, though not all of them have been identified. The Elysium Alliance was concerned that our technologies would fall into the wrong hands. They instructed Dr. Rousseau and her team to develop the OT so that citizens of Elysium could flee Earth and pursue quality of life and their technologies away from political turmoil of Earth. David Spencer and a team of Elysians volunteered to be the initial test subjects for the OT. The Alliance was concerned for David's safety as he was the figurehead of Elysium, so they allowed him to go. However, after the first wave of Elysians were traveling through the OT, it collapsed in on itself, disconnecting those of us in the first wave from the colony on Earth. It is suspected that the Demerara had something to do with the collapse of the portal that created the OT. Then what happened? Well, we've been isolated from Earth for many years now with minimal communication. Thanks to the space gates developed by Planet Eclipse's settlers, second wavers like yourself have started to arrive. Though much has changed in this time. The first wave settlers being left on to their own devices separated and have settled different regions of Next Island due to their differences. Odd, considering the Elysium Alliance was intent to avoid exactly that. Copy editors, guys. They were intent on avoiding exactly that. It is suspected that members of the Demerara corrupted the minds of key figures of the Alliance and are manipulating the varied colonies of Next Island for their own purposes. Though we cannot be sure of this. Tell me about the missing first wavers. Well, no one truly knows about where all of them have gone, although it is apparent they have colonized various locations across the planet. All loyalists have stayed to prepare for the second wave as planned, though we have been left to our own devices for quite some time. Some of the first wave have settled in the region we call the Enchanted Forest. They have been collaborating with inhabitants we discovered through an anomaly in Orpheus Cave. Fortunately, they've been instrumental in helping us receive the second wave, which now that the time has come. A collective of some of our greatest engineering minds and soldiers from the first wave retreated into the mountains of the north to establish what they call the New Elysian Order. The rest, well, let's just say that they have been causing a lot more trouble than we would hope. Raiding supplies, and we suspect they may be the reason the NEO has cut off communication from the rest of us. If you'd like to help look for the missing first wavers, the robot Samuel has been setting up a tracking system on the island that should pinpoint their location. You should go and speak with him. Okay, I'll talk to Samuel. Understood. I'll mark his location on your map and radar. If you are unable to find him, simply walk toward the location indicator. Oh, yeah. And he is down. Tempting. It would be hilarious but no. Because as they say, that first step is a doozy. There was a lot more text there than I expected, and the story was the plot was a lot more in depth. And I don't know if this is based on events that, like, actually, you know, an actual group that existed in the 70s. That is something I will have to look up. Perhaps the people who wrote this are even... Elder Dragon, isn't that... That is one. Oh, we'll go say hello. He's apparently under attack. Oh, he's sweating. So let's wave at him. I apparently don't have wave. Beckon, attention, confident, at ease. No, bugger. I can't believe I forgot to add wave. Where's my frickin' action library? There it is. Control. No. Emotes.
Hello.
We'll just quickly say hi. One helps me with advice from time to time. Actually, he's... Between him and Morgan, the two of them have been instrumental to me finding a lot of the things that I needed to find on this planet. So, Juan, thank you. I'm glad I was able to shout out to you here in the video. Shuttle service? It looks like a Goonier. Well, technically it looks like a hind, because that's what the Goonier is based off of. But you know what I mean. So we have to find this Samuel, I believe. Looks like they might be in this village. Oh, Crystal Bay. We've got a porter. Cool, cool. I love how Next Island has these really unique turrets. There he is. Hey, we got more quests too. Miranda and Helen Venture. I am not reading that binary. This robot is broken. Let someone else fix him. This robot is broken. I think I saw some supply caches on my radar. I bet if I find them, I can get the parts to fix him. Hey, look at that. See, this is very reminiscent of a typical MMORPG, which I can appreciate. Oh, God. It's a sensor. Oh, that's not where I was going. No, it was. Okay. Just further. Note to self, there is a yellow Pupu wave event here. Let's see if we can't move out of the combat area. And they're level 1. Ape attack imminent. Yes, I have very deliberately left the wave attack area. The event area. However, that is something I'll have to consider in the future. Okay, so these are very obviously low level. In fact, we're going to take the armor off so that it doesn't get damaged. So we're going to go clothing. Okay. You know what? For shits and giggles, let's equip the pistol that they give us when you first come to Next Island. If I had thought about... Oh, no, because I took all of the fuel out of my hover pod, and you'd end up having to walk if you're new here anyway. And yes, I know, I hovered over because I walked it the first time. I should have been recording that, but it was a long-ass walk, let me tell you. This should be supply cache 1. Positronic. Kind of impressed that they had the courage to use that term. I don't know that... I guess Positronic is not copywritten by Paramount Pictures or CBS, which really kind of surprises me. Positronic is the term that they use for data in Star Trek The Next Generation's brain neuronet. It's a positronic network. Which actually, they may not be able to. A positron might be a particle? Oh, it's a subatomic particle, so they would not be able to copyright that. Wait, did I not? Endorphins? I picked up endorphins. That there's something just uniquely strange about that. Okay. Found linguistics module. Guess I didn't pick it up the first time. Oh, you know what? I think I was interrupted. Maybe we can slide by this one. I wish you could make the map zoom in more. Got a fenced-in area over here. The Pupu won the wave swan. I didn't participate in the wave swan deliberately. Okay, so this is an enclosure. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, but you can just walk out. What? Mountain boar piglet. Obviously, this is an area for you to grind out early skills. I have the feeling we're going to run into someone sending us here to do just that. Feel kind of like a rat running a maze. Screecher punies. Oh, we got layers here. We've got the cannon up there, although... Maybe it has a restricted range? And these guys seem to have a very short aggro. Well, either that or I'm just so overpowered by comparison that they don't aggro. I don't know that there are flexible aggro ranges in Entropia. In my experience, there aren't. But Next Island is one of the most... To my knowledge, it's one of the most recent additions to the game, as far as planet partners go. And so they might have a more advanced algorithm for that. Oh, the Pupu Village. Pupu Village? Oh boy. Well, I got that teleporter. Oh, you have to sift through the cache, that's why. Found speech module. Probably help if I went the right way. Okay. So, okay, next island. You've piqued my curiosity. This is much more traditional MMO. Run around and grab these 3 things, then come back. Which is one of the reasons we love MMOs. Fetch quests. Yeah, at least we're not killing, like, one type of mob for hours because we need 30 of something that's a rare drop and some other nonsense. I've run into that a few times. This is interesting. Really hope I'm going the right way. There's a player up here. An IO. Talking to the natives. Hello, how can I help? Just passing by. Who are you? I'm Io, daughter of Thebe, from the great city of Thebe. And who are you? I'm pleased to meet you, Kenichi. You are also from the field of the heroic and virtuous, like the others here? I'm sorry, I don't follow. The others say they come from Elysium, the part of the underworld that is the resting place of the heroic and virtuous. Are you from that place too? Oh, not that Elysium. Our Elysium is an island dedicated to serving a better building a better future. I see. I hope you succeed. What are you doing here? Me? Shh! Don't be so loud. I'm taking care that Sebastian will behave and does not roam around. You have to know that some mutation of the wildlife happened here. Sebastian is a Pupu who achieved a degree of intelligence, but we argue about his mental health. He got a rage against the piglet in the fence and started to offer a bounty on their heads, even day by day to anyone. Hell, no clue what'll be on his next step. I have to take care that he doesn't leave his place. He's just waiting there, in the temple, a bit deeper in the jungle. If you are trigger happy, maybe give his offer a closer look. Thank you, maybe I do. That's interesting. Io. She's one of the Greek goddesses, if I remember correctly. Which would make sense, because you can get to ancient Greece from here. Well, now I'm a touch curious as to where the hell this cache is. Let's drop down. It was probably up that alternate path. Because of course it would be. Yeah, it's in this tree. Damn it. Okay, turn to the left. There's a Lara here? Okay. That literally makes no sense. Nor does the fact that my objective is here. But there is no supply cache. Let's try climbing one more time. See if we can't figure out what we're missing. I'm not seeing any other turn-offs. Kind of look down here. I don't think that I had any other turnoffs. That's IO. That's all we got. We're pretty much standing on top of it. Oh, let's jump off the side and see if we run into it. I fell on the tree branch. Kind of surprised I survived that. Oh, maybe it wasn't in the tree. But knowing Milo gets on top of that damned cliff. Yup. Okay. Going up. There it is. Okay, so how would we get to it from down there? Oh, there's a ramp here. So what we would do is travel over here, climb up the hill, and just over yonder you have the supply cache. Which, in the interest of time, I'm going to grab and then fly back, but it's kind of pretty back here. Found the logic module. Let's return to Samuel and repair him. So that's interesting. They actually have you doing, like, I hate to say it like this, but you're actually doing real missions. It's not just go out and, you know, kill 50 of these, or, well, this is Entropia, so it would be like 3,000 of these, but it's actually like, hey, I need you to go gather these parts. Okay, now that you've sifted through, we need you to come back. Much more traditional MMO-y, which is kind of refreshing. Kind of odd to say, considering I play Final Fantasy and I've played WoW, but, like, and I mean, we're talking, like, endgame WoW, but still. It's unexpected, it's different. Repair Samuel. Found new hardware, installing loading drivers from display. Hello, are you working now? Hello, Kenichi, I infer that you have done me a favor in repairing me. That's correct. Then thank you from the bottom of my positronic heart. Seems there have been some changes to Crystal Center since I fell into disrepair. As one of the electronic guardians of the Elysians, I must immediately yet politely request you to brief me on the whereabouts and status of my first wave charges. I've searched the island extensively, but haven't seen the first wave. That is fine. I have an alternate method of obtaining that information. The first wave has established sensors around this island. These perform many functions, gathering all sorts of data on island conditions for research. I can also use these to locate the life signals of First Waver. Stand by while I do so. Continue. It's taking so long. Something is wrong with these sensors, Kenichi. They are offline and not transmitting any relevant data. I am not able to fulfill my programming until they're repaired. This is a hardware problem, so someone must go to each sensor and repair it. I'm not surprised. I will give you the coordinates of 4 sensors, then you must put them back together. Be honored to help the first wave. I thought, only the thought of big piles of pet keeps me talking to you. Here are the locations of the 4 sensors. You may repair them in any order, but be sure to put all 4 of them back online. Be careful. I hypothesize that the mischievous Pupu have something to do with this. Okay. So we have our next mission. When we come back, we're going to go fix some sensors. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Guys, I really appreciate all the support. You all have a wonderful night. Or day, actually.